Where you been? Where you from? You on gangbang? You think this? I don't know how. I forgot how it goes. No, the Compton album. Done. Where you been? Where you? What is up, people? I feel like we haven't spoke to y'all in so many years. It's been like a long time, but we are
I
back,
miss you,
right? We are back. It's your boy Shaun Q, my partner, like always.
Jay Roman.
Together we are OSP. Nah, nah,
OSP.
nah, 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 nah. Don't work on Zoom.
I think that was the best one since we started doing it like this.
I feel like it's off. It doesn't matter. We can't. I feel like within the next, hopefully by the next time we record, we'll be in front of each other. We'll actually be able to record, and a lot of this will be past. So a lot of shit has happened since our last recording. We took a little bit of time off to like a wellness check type thing to get our minds right, to get our grind right, and so a lot of things have happened since that last episode.
Man, things are flying through the world right now at a pace that is very, very difficult to keep up with because of the virus and non-virus stuff that happens in between that you get a glimpse of, but the virus takes over all the other information.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's a very strange time, and it kind of like it feels like we're slowly coming out of it. Like it feels like that scene at the end of The Wiz when all these creatures start taking their costumes off, and it was like black people underneath. Can you feel a brand new day? It feels like that's our return to society. So we are gonna start off the way we always do with a what's poppin'. What's poppin'? Now, as people who are new to the podcast game, we're still relatively new to this. We're fresh, young, pretty faces just now in the game. Something huge just took place in the podcast world, and that is Mr. Joe Rogan just got a ginormous licensing deal with Spotify worth $100 million, which is beautiful and insane at the same time. I don't know how much you saw about this, but Joe Rogan's been doing this podcast for 11 years. He's got 1,500 episodes. And I mean, before the podcast, he was on news radio. He was doing Fear Factor. Yeah. He's been around for a long time.
We saw him live at the Man Show.
Yes, we saw him live at the Man Show. He's been doing it forever. He's like 52 years old. So I love that he got this deal. Because as we've been learning, if you go anywhere and you type in podcast, the first one that pops up is Joe Rogan. Just the word podcast, it pops up. So he set himself at that standard of Joe Rogan's podcast and then everybody else. So I love that he got the deal, but it also opens up the door for up-and-comers like us with a dope concept of old school perspective, having people like, oh, so podcasts are popping now. Okay, cool. I guess I'll give him a listen. I guess I'll check him out. My cousin does one in his garage. He talks about the people who walk by, and then him and his dog do a podcast. That's the fuck we got to compete with. What do you think about Joe Rogan's deal, man?
So here's what I think about it, and there's a lot to go on with it because here's the deal: podcasting right now was like free radio, right? Back in the day, everyone put out their stuff. All you had to do was find the channel. Right. Someone put you onto it. You're like, bam, I got this. I'm doing this. I'm listening to this. I'm enjoying this. Joe Rogan's deal is a problem for the industry. Kudos to Joe Rogan. I can't be happier for the guy to make $100 million. There's not a lot of people in this world that I wouldn't be damn jealous of and want to steal some money from, other than whoever else. But Joe Rogan, happy for you, man. You seem like a good guy, at least superficially. I don't know you personally, but you've always seemed like a guy you come through with a lot of really like heartfelt stuff that I'm feeling. You know what I mean? And he's really smart. People don't know this. Joe Rogan is extremely intelligent. And when you hear him speak, you're like, this guy speaks and he knows the world. And that's really cool.
Even when he's high as shit.
Even when he's high, exactly. Problem is, the reason this is bad for the industry of podcasting, because he signed an exclusive deal. There aren't exclusive deals that much right now in podcasting. People are saying, and I'm kind of leaning that way too, this is going to kill the podcast industry.
Why?
Because everyone's now going to try and do that to get that exclusive deal. Kind of like streaming services. How many shows have we not watched that apparently are phenomenal because they're on a different streaming service that we're not going to pay for the third, fourth, fifth streaming service to come into our lives?
You mean you're not going to pay for HBO Max?
No, because I already have HBO freaking Go.
Exactly. I have HBO Now. I have HBO Go. HBO go fuck yourself now. I'm not doing your math.
To the max.
Stupid, right?
So that's where the problem for me lies, is that it's going to take that that freedom, I feel like, for a lot of people. And now it's going to be, and granted, don't get me wrong, people do it for the money. I get that. But now everyone's going to be going for that big deal, and we're going to miss a lot because of it. And people are going to try and go overboard with theirs because of it. And it's like, once you can see that money's to be made, then you got ass clowns coming out the woodwork, trying to put out whatever, kind of like what you're saying. Oh, my garage, I describe people walking by, which is actually not a bad thing because that can be pretty funny. But so I don't know. Good for him. Good for him. Great idea. If it happened to us, I wouldn't be saying the same thing, most likely. But the fact that we can put ourselves on 8, 9, 10, 12 different stations, because not everyone listens to Spotify, right, I think is pretty fantastic. My brother doesn't listen to Spotify. He listens to Castbox. I didn't even hear of Castbox till he said it. So I don't know.
People listen to us on Apple Music and Google
Podcasts.
My brother only listens to podcasts.
If we were exclusive to one, we'd have as many listens. Then again, he's the top podcaster with hundreds of millions of listens. So it's a big difference.
Yeah.
I can't compare,
Yeah. My thing is, it sucks because before quarantine, I remember we said this, it was like close to 500,000 podcasts out there, which still they were like, which is not a lot because people are getting up podcasts. There's like 475,000 podcasts out there. And then the quarantine happened and everybody was like, looks like I'm going to start a podcast. And now there's like 1.something million podcasts out there. So my thing is, I feel like there was already going to be an influx of just a shitload of podcasts out there anyway. If yours is good and you have good fans like we have, and you have a good concept and you're constantly growing and evolving, then you should get to the point where you're actually making some kind of money. I actually embrace and welcome the competition. If y'all want to go at us toe to toe and see who puts out a better product, bring that shit.
Okay, MJ. Okay.
Hey, I'm saying, I like that. Hey, I'm from the Chi. Don't let the Yankee shit fool you. I'm a Yankee fan, but Chicago heads, we feel a certain way about things. If it's about hustling and grinding, let's do that shit. I'm with it. That is what's popping. So let's get into some of the shit that's happened. And since, dude, it's been maybe a month, and so much has happened in that month. One of the things that I know happened that was a big deal. You mentioned to me, it didn't really happen during quarantine, but it happened before. We never got to talk about it. But I want to say something about it real quick. Playboy, you said Playboy decided they are no longer printing. There's no more Playboy magazines. That's it. They're just done.
I can't touch the ladies anymore, man. What am I going to do?
So many, like, beautiful, sticky memories. It's just like fucking.
Like this. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right there.
My poor son Archer will never be able to go and look through Daddy's Playboys and be like, oh. Okay, this feeling right here that every guy's had at some point. Oh,
see, okay. my thing right now is I don't know. Did it pass? When's the last physical copy?
I don't know, but it makes sense that
I gotta look it up.
It makes sense that they would stop because the competition is just ridiculous. Not only you're talking about all publications, not just Time Magazine, New York Times, all these people, most of their stuff is all online. Everything's online. People aren't reading papers.
Magazines.
Nobody's reading magazines anymore. Nobody's reading newspapers. It's all online. So they shifted to online. So there's still going to be Playboy.com. Like they're going to still be online. Yeah. But you were talking about, in my opinion, social media and OnlyFans ruined Playboy putting magazines out. Because then it went from, I want to see this person naked to, well, some tape or video is going to leak and I'll see them naked. Plus, why would I pay money for a magazine to see this model that I don't know naked when for the same amount, I can pay to see this bartender that I know that works down the street who showed me pictures of her feet and her left titty. Like, that killed Playboy. Playboy can't compete with that.
That and free online porn.
Yeah.
On your phone. It's like,
why in the fuck?
Who's going to compete with that?
Nobody can.
It's a smart move. I mean, plus also the absence of Hugh Hefner. If there was Hugh Hefner still around, he probably would still keep it going because he's like, you know what? I'm going to do it just for the sake of still being the only one out there doing it. Or
right. It's almost like a landmark or a historic monument type thing.
Exactly.
Like, we're not going to get rid of it because it's Hugh Hefner's thing. You know what I mean? But now that he's gone, you have no reason to keep it going.
Yeah. The Sun is not going to continue producing something that's a loss leader.
Right. Plus, he's not the playboy in the mansion. He's not up
True.
in the grotto having all these
True.
new young up and comers in the grotto. It's not the same thing. That was the thing. A lot of when I used Playboy was a dope magazine. Like it wasn't just wall to wall pictures of naked bitches.
Oh,
He
it
had
has
great
amazing articles.
articles. Dude, great articles, shit about people who are coming up in the industry and the party they have for this gala, this event. I used to love actually reading Playboy. And people don't know what me and you, I remember because I'm a huge wrestling fan and we were into wrestling back in the day. We would get the ones that got us put on. Like if we were to tell kids later, like grandkids, oh man, when they started putting the wrestling divas on Playboy, we were on fucking board. You're like,
Oh yeah.
Sable's on the cover? We went to Tower Records to get Tori Wilson to sign a Playboy. Like that's what caught us. And like every generation he would catch different people and be like, hey, look, this person is naked. Like,
The very first Playboy I ever bought was Sable's cover.
See,
the very first one I ever bought. I walked to the store and I was proud to lay it down on the counter and say, I'm buying this. I'm old enough. We're going to do this.
Yep. Mine, I think, was the Tori Wilson one. I loved Tori Wilson, who still looks great, by the way. Shout out to
I don't think I've bought one since Tori Wilson, though.
No. Well, no, I think I did. I had a subscription for like a year, and I remember they had like all the stuff you see now on Instagram and on TV when it's like manscaping and where to buy your clippers and here's the perfect beard stuff. All that shit used to be in Playboy.
True.
Because Playboy was basically the male equivalent to Cosmo magazine.
True.
So where Cosmo is telling women like, here's what guys want, Playboy was telling guys, here's what women want. And we asked fucking Megan Fox what she likes done to her shoulder blade, and like, it's definitely historic, and it's I hope they do a big like going away fucking super issue that's this thick, like Marvel Playboy or some shit. I don't fucking know. Just make it.
That'd be a nice like anthology type thing.
Just go out with a big ass bang, like over the Playboy, 50 years or however many years it was. I feel like that would be dope. Let's move on. We've lost a lot of people during this quarantine. We've lost a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of legends have passed, and a lot of it didn't have people. It sucks because they're going to be tied in with coronavirus.
Yeah.
Even if it had nothing to do with their death, it just happened.
And most of them didn't. Yeah. There's I think maybe one of the 10 that we've referenced or thought of recently that was coronavirus related, and that was I think a gospel singer.
Yeah. Right. So for the most part, it sucks that they died during that time because they're going to be tied in with that forever. But we'll just name off a couple. Andre Harrell. What do you know about Andre Harrell?
Man, I know what I know about Andre Harrell is, fortunately, because of him, there was a lot of great music that we got down to in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
But unfortunately, because of him, there's a lot of cats out there I wish I could just slap.
Yeah.
Because he put cats on like Puff, who then put other cats on, like who brought really garbage ass music to the scene and pushed it in a direction that really kind of filtered it out to masses, which is fine. All music, that happens to all music, especially when it gets really, really popular. So I can't complain about that. But Puff became a pop
icon.
Pop icon eventually, which is fine. But then all he had was pop acts. And I know maybe they were rappers or rapping, style, singing, whatever, but they were all pop music. And like, at that point, I'm done. But you can't deny the man's mark. I don't know specifically all the very, very like small little things he put together as far as his mark on that. But the way he changed hip hop music to be hip hop and R&B, or as some people call it, rap and bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, it stayed, obviously, and it's still huge. It's even bigger now than I think ever.
Yeah, he changed the game. He started as a rapper. He was a successful rapper. Then he got put on, and he put P. Diddy on. He indirectly put Mary J. Blige on and shit like that. So there's tons of people who owe their careers to this man, and he died relatively young, as far
59.
as 59, which is young when you think. You know what? We can actually go in order. When you think from there, we go to Little Richard.
Mm-hmm.
Little Richard, the godfather of rock and roll. Little Richard, like that. When James Brown passed, and people were like, "The Godfather of Soul just passed away." Like there was no question about that title.
Yeah,
like that's just who he was. When Aretha Franklin passed, same thing. With Little Richard, you were talking about the architect. You were talking about the man who put the Godfather on. You were talking about the man who not only changed the game, he helped fucking invent it. And He had this persona, this charisma, this character that was unmatched. Like unmatched. I remember seeing somebody, they actually just recently posted it again too. It was the Grammys. It was like sometime in the 80s, and him and the guy who had he was on like SNL at the time, whatever. They're giving out the award, and Little Richard could not steal the show.
Of course.
He comes out and he has the envelope, and he's like, so the award for best new artist. Shut up. The award for best new artist is me. He did it, he did it to this dude like 3 times. He goes, I'm playing. All right, shut up. Yeah. The winner is still me. He's like, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm the architect. Y'all ain't never gave me no Grammys. How come I ain't got no Grammys? And everybody stood up and started clapping. He goes, no, shut up. To hell with that. I ain't never got no Grammys. Best new artist, still me, baby.
Straight up.
Like, that is Little Richard. Before there was a Rick James, there was a Little Richard. You had this guy who would show up. You had no idea what he was going to say, but he was respected everywhere. They did Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremonies and like, Little Richard's going to play. Oh, shit, really? And he would come out, swagged out, have his Jerry curl in full effect, sit down with 48 rings on, 19 bracelets, just blinging out, and go ham on the piano like it was nothing. The dude was a legend. He was a master, and we lost him. I don't know how you feel about Little Richard. I mean, obviously we all love him and respect him. You don't have a Little Richard story?
I
met him when you were a kid?
Kind of not exactly as from a kid, but I do have a couple albums. I got the best of like 30 songs or something like that, and I've jammed that a few times. It's fun to have with my daughter because that's easy music for her to dance to. If we were to do that, but the only thing I know about as far as the story goes, anytime recently was, and I don't think you've seen it yet, but the Get On Up movie with James Brown, about James Brown, Little Richard's in it.
Yeah. Wait, you mean the Chadwick Boseman movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Of course.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
but
it's not as good as the documentary. Little part.
Yeah. Yeah, and they have that guy playing that part, and that to me was so cool. It's kind of similar to when I said I never realized or thought of all those sports legends who were activists as well in the same room.
Right.
It's one of those things you don't think about. Little Richard is, like you said, put on James Brown. He's the reason, according to that scene, that James Brown broke. Like he got into it, and he's like, oh, damn. And he took that spot, and then they chatted, and he influenced James Brown to really pursue what he needed to pursue and become who he became. And I gotta correct myself. Last time I think I said James Brown died at 75. He actually died at the age of 73. So to those out there, fact checkers, I thank you. None of y'all called me on it because you suck, but but I caught myself. He died at 73. Either way, which is still too young for someone like that. But losing Little Richard is huge.
Little Richard, we were talking in our Cosby and Kelly episode about how like Richard Pryor, when he first started, he was trying to be Bill Cosby. But when James Brown started, he was trying to be Little Richard.
Oh yeah,
and that was like the goal, because Little Richard is blowing up around Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, like all these legends. Little Richard is just dominating, and they said everywhere they went, if there was a party they went to or something they went to, Little Richard was owning the room. The dude just commanded the attention of whatever room he was in.
You know what I take from Little Richard, and I take this from a lot of artists who are similar in that respect of just how great they are, is he did him. Now, I'm not sure in the early days what he had to do to get put on, but he did him. He never, from what I understand, changed anything up about himself. Right. His flamboyant style, his makeup, his dress, his flair, everything, him, and he owned it and he loved it and we loved him for it. And it's like, that's the only thing you could ever ask from your favorite people is just be who you are and don't ever be anything else. You know what I mean? And that's why we loved him so much, because it's like no one else could be that man right there. Never. No. You know what I mean?
Not at all. We also lost two legends in TV and movie. One is Jerry Stiller. And Jerry Stiller, Ben Stiller's dad, I didn't know, like, him and his wife go way back. They're one of those couples like Fred and Ethel from I Love Lucy, who used to do radio way back in the day and then kept going like throughout the years. God, kept going throughout the years. And then work on your old man back. You got it?
Yeah, need some support.
Doctor say you need a they were going, and so I never watched Seinfeld. I didn't like. I've seen 2 episodes. I don't fuck with it. I didn't really like Friends. I didn't fuck with it. But
I hear you.
I did watch. I
Close
have
to me.
seen every episode of King of Queens, and
Mm.
Jerry Stiller is the shit. Even as an
He's
old man, and
hilarious,
every
man.
scene he's in, he owns that scene, dude.
Yeah.
He just plays it perfectly. And so that's another legend gone. Fred Willard. Fred Willard, I think, is the oldest of the ones we're going to mention. He's probably the last one we're going to mention. I think he died at 91. Fred Willard has not only been in TV and movies for maybe 80 years, but Fred Willard was known as one of the last true improv comedian. Well, not one of the last, one of the best improv comedians when it came to TV and movies. You know, the way I watch movies, like especially if it's got improv comedy greats in it, like Will Ferrell, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, what's her name, Melissa McCarthy, Zach Galifianakis. When they have these people in there, Tiffany Haddish, Kevin Hart, they all do it. When they're like, one of the things I love the most is when you see the blooper reel at the end of a movie, and the way the director says, here's the line, shoot it, and they do it, and they go, all right, say something else. They try another one, do another one, do another one. That always impresses me. And it's people from like Second City in Chicago, like I said, Tina Fey and all them, who got trained, like Wayne Brady and all them. Hey, that's funny. Now say something different. Now say something different. And then we're going to later go in and pick the funniest one. Fred Willard was a genius at that. You could give him, the line is, I don't like your girlfriend because, go. And he would give you 50 different ones, and they would all be fucking good. The guy was a genius. And my favorite Willard moment is from the Boondocks, when there was that incident that happened where in real life there was this white teacher who got fired for saying nigga in front of some of the black kids. And so Boondocks made fun of it, and they chose Fred Willard to play the white teacher. And they're like, so is it true you called him a nigga? He was like, who, Riley Freeman? Yeah, that guy says nigga all the time. He comes in, what up, my nigga? What's going down, my nigga? How is everything, my nigga? Can a nigga borrow a French fry? How is a nigga gonna borrow a French fry? I was like, thank you, Fred Willard. He captured that dude's fucking legend, dude. I'm sad to see him go because he's one of those people in the business like Betty White. He's been around so long.
And oh my gosh.
Still doing stuff. Betty White's never gonna die. He's doing stuff like he was still doing stuff recently. Like he was on like Family Feud a couple years ago. Even Steve Harvey's like paying respect to this man at 90 because the guy was just a legend and his faculties were all still there. It's hard to still be funny in the night. Carl Reiner, guys like that who are old as shit but can still run with the best of them. Betty White.
Oh, when your mind is sharp, man, you last forever. You seriously do.
Crazy. It's just sad to see him go. But Fred Willard was a legend, and all right, rest in power to all those people and everybody we didn't mention. I know Shad Gaspard just passed. He was a wrestler, and a lot of wrestlers are posting how sad they were to see him go.
Let me just give you a couple more. Jerry Sloan, longtime jazz coach, and apparently was a really good basketball player.
And the owner, he was wasn't he a president?
I don't know about that part, but he started with the Bulls. He was with the Bulls, and also the longtime butler in the White House died. Oh, that man lived through 11 presidents.
Damn.
Yeah, 11, and imagine 11, and some of them got reelected, i.e., Reagan. Clinton, the second Bush, and Obama.
Because there's been a Bush in the White House for 20 years.
Yeah.
Was he there for all 20?
Yeah. Wow. No. Bush was the first Bush was only a 4-year term.
No. There has been a Bush in the White House for 20 years. So when George H.W. was vice president to the 2 term as the president to Junior being the president. Yeah.
So been there the whole time. He retired. If I'm correct, he retired in Obama's second term.
Oh wow.
Or after that term, something like that. But he just died too.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 11 presidents. So even if it was just 4 years at a time, that's 44 years he was the butler of that damn White House. Minimum.
That's crazy. So while we're on that topic, I'm gonna throw something at you that was just recently announced to me, and I feel this type of way about it, and I feel like I don't want to go into a tangent, so I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm sure you've heard about it, but apparently there is a White House tradition that is being broken by what is our oldest president ever. If there's anybody who should follow simple fucking traditions, it's the oldest president ever. You would think, nope. The tradition is when you are in the White House and your 4th year or whatever is up, you have to unveil a portrait of the president that lived in your fucking house before you. It's just a ceremony. It's what you do.
I don't.
No, that's a thing. It's a thing. They
What?
have an unveiling. There's a
Okay.
picture of all the former presidents in the
Yeah,
White House.
that I know.
Right, but the president who's there now unveils the portrait of the president before him.
Interesting.
So whether they like that president or not, Obama had to unveil a portrait of Bush. He had to. That's just what you do.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, they were like, hey, it's time to unveil this portrait of Obama. He said, nope.
Of course he did.
Yeah, and they're like, but it's tradition. He goes, I don't give a fuck.
He's delayed the release of the Harriet Tubman $20 bill for a minimum another 8 years, so he's going to be long out of office. He's broken all kinds, but you know what? That's why his people elected him, because he's not a politician. He doesn't follow tradition. He breaks the rules. He blah, blah, blah. No, he just lies and just does what he wants, which I'm not mad about him doing what he wants, but he doesn't do what's right for the people. He does what's right for himself. We talked about that.
It's about the people. And if there's any tradition, just basically off this, you can't say, I'm not going to hang this portrait, not just because you don't like the dude, but just off the simple fact that he's the first black president. That just comes off as fucking racist. Like, yo, would you have hung Bush's? Maybe. I don't know. Doesn't matter, dude. You got to hang this picture. You can't not hang the black dude's picture on the wall. That's racist. Come on, bro. Fuck this
Hey, you know what? Here's the thing. He continuously and will continuously show you who he is.
Yeah.
It's not a surprise. I'm not surprised. Does it make me upset? Absolutely. But I'm not surprised because time and time again, he reminds us of who he is. And some of us want to throw rocks at the White House because of it. And some people praise it and think it's the coolest thing that they've ever seen in their lives. So I'll tell you this right now. One thing I learned in the quarantine is that, two things. The My Pillow guy used to be a crackhead. You know, the My Pillow guy with the commercials. Anyway, so there's a pillow called My Pillow. This guy has infomercials up the wazoo, right? Talking about it's just a special pillow that is really good, right? He apparently used to be a crackhead, but he's also a huge Trump supporter and has called Trump the greatest president of all time, ordained by God. And I'm like, okay, so what you've just said to me is, don't ever buy your pillows. Got it. Got it. I don't need your pillows.
Right? Got it. If I see your pillow out there, skeet all over it and push. Got it.
So speaking of the racist stuff that comes down from the White House and trickles through our communities and our societies, we got to bring up Ahmaud Arbery, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, how unbelievable is it that this happened in when? January? February?
Yeah.
And these men just are getting arrested. And in fact, they just arrested the guy who videotaped it.
Yeah. It's not unbelievable because us as minorities, we've seen this forever.
True.
It's not unbelievable by any means. It's another one of those, and we've gotten so accustomed to and so just blasé about innocent black people getting murdered in the fucking streets, to where it's just a part of our culture. It's a part of our society. That's just how it works in America. It's almost like being in the Middle East and you're like, yo, some kids got affected by this bombing. And like, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's what happened. As fucked up as it is, this young kid is out just literally trying to run. He can't even jog down the fucking street without these dudes hopping in their truck to go fuck with him and then shoot him in the chest with a shotgun repeatedly.
In the street, in the daytime.
In broad daylight.
Daytime modern lynching.
And then for them to be able to go home and live their lives for months without any repercussion. It was basically a midday, it's a midday lynching. They went out, shot a nigga in the chest, went home, ate some Cookie Crisp, and then just lived their lives like they didn't do anything wrong. It's fucking insane. Oh, yeah. But it's normal. It's been happening for years.
It's normal, but I gotta say, this is one of the wildest ones I've heard of in a while, though, because this is not the cops. These are just men who took it upon themselves. And here's the thing. Even if he did commit a crime, right? Because he didn't. We saw that. He was just running. We know this. They still don't have the right to go shoot him.
Nope.
There's no citizen's arrest for that. There's, you say, oh, you know what? I just seen this guy. I think he did something. I might know who he is or where he lives. I'm going to call the cops. That's how you handle that.
Right.
You don't take it upon yourself with a shotgun and shoot him 3 times. with a shotgun.
It is if you have ties to the police department.
True.
Which they did.
Or to the KKK.
Right. If you have ties to the KKK and the sheriff's department, and you used to work for the force, and your cousin, and your uncle, whatever, is going to help take care of it, then yeah, you have that I can do whatever the fuck I want and get away with it mentality. And that's exactly what happened. And it's fucked up. It's cold, but I mean, we've gotten to that point where we're like, you know what? It's a cold world, and it's happening way too often. But how do you stop it? There is no plan to stop it.
You know, we're gonna have to dive deep into a little bit of this later in a different episode, because this is not that episode. But there's a lot of shit in the world, right? And you know me, I stay on the news. I listen to the news. I read news. I dig deep for certain things I want to know more about, and stuff like this. It hits deep inside. You know what I mean? And then I watch these documentaries, and then I read the news, and I gotta say, man, if I was, I don't want to say like a lesser person or weak-minded or whatever, but I gotta say there's not a lot of hope in me right now. I can't say I'm feeling like, oh, things are gonna get better, because you know what? History's showing us they're not. So I'm at the point where why am I bothering here? Why am I bothering even trying? It doesn't make any sense, because you know what? The highest people in power keep perpetuating this same nonsense, and it will never get better, because even when we get someone better in, like say Obama was, he still has his faults. Okay, right. He's gonna have his faults, but then you have the next person come right in because so many people didn't like the last one. They put this asshole in to make it worse. I don't get that. I don't get it. So what's the hope in this in all this?
When we deep dive, I have an opinion on Trump that I've never said publicly, but I'll do it in that one.
Write it down.
I will say this. I will say this. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was talking about what Obama meant to African Americans, and it was like, oh, we get it. He's black. You're black. I was like, no. He brought back the word and meaning to the word hope. Because in America, if you are a minority, you can get murdered for no reason. You can go to jail for no reason. You can get beat up for no reason. You can get fired for no reason. You can get attacked for no reason. You can get kicked out for no reason. And the only thing we had was like, but look, maybe you could be president of the United States. So what they're saying is, even though it's a glimmer, a very small fucking glimmer, there's hope. What he brought to us was that feeling of hope. Now that he is gone, as you said, there's not a lot to look forward to. There's not a lot of hope. You're like, well, they're still killing us. The only difference between them killing us now and them killing us 50 years ago is we're recording it so more people see it, but it's not stopping. Just because it's getting recorded doesn't mean it's going to stop, that's the part that's insane to me. People would think, hey, you're on camera now, don't kill. Oh, they did anyway. Oh, shit, I guess they really did not give a fuck. Yeah. Okay, I didn't think that would happen. That's the part that's surprising to me. Because the KKK, just the idea of them wearing masks means they don't want to be seen. They don't want to be out in public. They don't want you to know that the guy who talks to you at your bank teller's office is in the KKK. And they've gotten to the point now where they're like, nope, here's our tiki torches. This is who the fuck we are. Yes, I will see you at Whole Foods, and I don't like your black ass. Like, it's just gotten more blatant to me, and it's just fucking insane. But there's definitely, I don't know. I wouldn't say there's no hope, but I can understand the feeling of thinking there's not a lot of hope for the future. Yeah. This man, Tupac said ain't no hope for the youth, and the truth is there ain't no hope for the future. Anyway, very true. Some of the things that speaking of you reading the news, you have a follow-up. You said we talked about the Fuller House chick, Uncle Jesse's wife, and her man Massimo. What happened?
Yes. Lori Loughlin and her husband Massimo are pleading guilty.
Finally?
Finally. So they were fighting because they found some paperwork that said that was said to be able to prove that they thought it was for a charity. So apparently they looked through all that, consulted, realized we don't have a case, we're done. They are pleading guilty and getting pretty lean sentencing. Loughlin apparently is getting 2 months. It hasn't come down yet. They have pleaded, but the sentencing hasn't happened yet. So she's getting 2 months, and he might be getting 5. Word being, because her lawyers were so aggressive, that's why she may have a lesser sentence. which I got to say is kind of a lesson. Okay. So they don't know. They don't know yet the actual sentencing, but makes me think, aggressive lawyers. Now, that could be good or bad. And aggressive in what way? Because people take the definition of aggression differently. You know, I'm sure the lawyer's not in there yelling, but he probably has very, very strong, compelling arguments.
That and the way they press,
pursuing.
Yeah, the pursuing is what I'm saying. The way they're like, well, you know, we'll tie you up in litigation. They give them the Uncle Phil speech. I'll tie you up in so much litigation. Your grandchildren will be fucking. Like,
so I'm wondering, are they still using the prison coach?
I was gonna say, are they? Can they get that dude coming over during quarantine? Is he in a mask, teaching him how to not get shanked?
Oh my gosh!
To turn your cup of noodles into a weapon. Another good thing that's happening is, and I know I'm big into it. I don't know if you caught any of them, but I know Vel's caught a couple of them. Is verses on Instagram. What it is Timbaland and Swiss Beats got together and decided we want to do these verses battles, where we just have each other on Instagram or whatever. It's been Instagram, and you know we'll do that person does their best catalog against that person's best catalog, and it's something for people to watch while they're quarantined. It's basically it's like going to a club and seeing two of your favorite artists battle it out.
Yeah.
And it's been dope. They said they've been wanting to do it for years. Quarantine actually helped because people are actually inside watching it and people actually have time to do it. So some of the ones they had, like they had Timbo versus Swiss Beats. They had Babyface versus Teddy Riley, which was a good one. They had the one that I know Vel's like so far, the ladies killed it. Erykah Badu versus Jill Scott. Ooh, they killed it. It was just, oh man, it was just so much love and respect. And then backstories. Go ahead.
The Jill Scott one, Erykah Badu one, I heard it as it was airing. I didn't watch it. I can't do those on my phone. It's so weird. I kind of wish they would have thrown them on the TV. Like, if they have the other battles, why can't we do those? But have you heard about the possible one of the next ones?
If you're telling me about the piano battle, then absolutely.
I don't know what that is, but I'm talking about Eminem versus DMX. Excuse me.
How is that a competition? I mean, I want to see. I want to see it to see two very unique, two very unique personalities battle. But
50-year-old rappers.
Yeah, but DMX's catalog is nowhere near that of Eminem's catalog. Not even close.
Okay, I'm gonna counter you on that one. Yes and no. The first 3 DMX albums versus the first 3 Eminem albums.
Why would they stop there, though?
No, they shouldn't. They shouldn't because Grand Champ is pretty good, so they shouldn't stop there. But don't get me wrong, they're apples and oranges as far as like content.
Right.
But when you talk about commercial viability and how good they are, they're both really, really good in those 3 albums.
Oh yeah.
If they were to just do those 3. I don't know.
Do it.
It's tough because here's the deal. Here's the deal, though. Eminem's songs that play on the radio, it depends on what he does. Here's the problem with M. In concert, M does the radio songs.
Yeah.
He rarely does one off the album that people just love, right? He does, and he only does a verse or 2. X is kind of similar, but X has a different energy to those early songs than Eminem does. And imagine Eminem doing "Hi, My Name Is," and then X doing "Rough Riders Anthem."
Yeah.
But, you know, when you're battling like that,
yeah,
you know, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. You know what I mean? Because
X has one of the best concerts I've ever seen, and I believe it was a $5 concert. It was a $5 ticket to see him at Nokia Live, and he did a 2-hour show. He did push-ups. He prayed for the crowd. He did every song you would want DMX to do. He did it. And I was just like, okay, that was dope. We got to see the post-crackhead version of him. That would be an interesting one. I know the one they have coming up next. Like today, I think it's Beanie Man is in one. But then next week, they have 112 versus Jagged Edge.
I'm in on that one.
Right? That's next week. And I was like,
oh, wait. Beanie Man versus who, though?
Beanie Man versus, oh my God, it's he's a reggae guy. Fuck, you know what? I'll check it out.
Is he? Okay, so because here's the deal with Beanie Man. I have a Beanie Man album that was not a U.S. release. I gotta say, I suck at understanding Jamaican accents.
Right.
That's why and all
Bounty
that.
Killer.
I don't know.
Sorry, Bounty Killer versus Beanie Man.
Okay, you know, and so I don't know how much I would dig it, but there's something about a Jamaican accent with rap, I love it, man. It gets me hyped. But Beanie Man, I can't understand what he's saying in this album, so I just play it like, okay, I don't know what he's saying, but all right. Yeah, I was hoping you would say like Beanie Man versus like Mad Lion or something.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
Right. Make
Remember
love in a rush. Pass me the kiss. Yeah, so they're doing that one tonight. Jagged Edge and 112 is next. The best one I've seen, believe it or not, was Lil Jon versus T-Pain. And that shit was what I expect from a battle. They both were in, like, Lil Jon was in the bar at his house. And T-Pain was in the studio / I don't know, skating rink in his fucking house.
Of course.
And they got the club lights on. They're going, and the thing I liked the most was it is such a contrast to what Erykah Badu and Jill Scott did and what Teddy Riley and Babyface did, where it was like them it was just all, you know.
They're very different people.
They are, but it's like, I'll show you the difference. So Babyface, Teddy Riley, and Badu and Scott, it's like, mad respect to you, Queen. Like, I like that one. That was a good one. Yeah, we're going to play this one. They'll sit there during the song. Even Nelly and Luda. They had one with Nelly versus Luda. And Luda's like real just, all right, this is coming out. Nelly starts getting drunk, gets more entertaining. T-Pain and Lil Jon, not only did they never sit down, these niggas never stopped moving.
T-Pain moves like that?
Oh, it was fucking crazy. Lil Jon was like, with his chalice, he was doing
I forget about that thing.
You ain't never been a friend of me. Yo, and T-Pain's like, I know you're not gonna play that fucking song. You gonna play that song? Okay, Jonathan. Let's do it, Jonathan. Oh my God, these niggas had me dying. I was like, that. I want to see that. But I mean, I get his different personalities, different characteristics, but I want to see that. I did hear a rumor about a possible battle, which I feel would just murder all the other ones. And because Swiss Beats is involved, it was kind of like through channels. They asked Alicia Keys, they're like, so are you gonna like battle Beyonce, or like who are you gonna battle? She goes, oh, if I battle, I want to battle John Legend, and it's a piano battle only. And so when they asked John Legend, he's like, yeah, I don't see why not. Fuck it, let's do it. That to me would be a dope ass battle. However, I would like to add a caveat. If somebody sees this and they could send it to them, I think there should be a John Legend versus Alicia Keys battle, but the caveat is they can only sing each other's songs.
Wait, have they ever written each other's songs?
John Legend was originally a background singer for Alicia Keys.
No, I know this because John Legend toured with Alicia as the opener.
So like when you hear You Don't Know My Name, that whole background vocals and the piano, all John Legend. So they've sung together, they've been on stage together, they've been around each other. But the fact that they would have to perform, like, I want to see John Legend sing You Don't Know My Name. I want to see Alicia Keys sing Ordinary People. I want to see them battle with each other's songs, because that to me would be just fire.
That'd be dope. And that's what I was asking, because out of those two, it would seem like they would have written songs for each other at some point.
They probably have, right? And it's and they're both good writers. They're both good performers. They both can dominate a fucking piano. So I don't see why they wouldn't be able to battle with each other's songs, because then it's like watching somebody playing their own shit. You're watching somebody perform somebody, and they both have done it. They both have done so many tribute shows that they can learn somebody else's song. No problem. I think to me that would be the dopest battle.
Now, I don't know if there was a capability, but I hope somebody taped these things somehow. I think so we can maybe get them aired someday.
Yeah, I think their Versus Network, what they did is because they'll have them, the artists will just, because on Instagram, like, we saw, you can only do 2 people at a time. Yeah. So they don't have them on Versus, but I think they're recording them and then just setting them aside, saving them. I would hope so, because this is dope. But I'm like you in that I can't watch the whole thing. I can't just watch somebody's Instagram page listening to music, because it's coming through my phone. And if it gets choppy, it sounds like trash. But I pop in like every 20 minutes to see what's happening. So, but I like the concept of them. I think it's dope. But the John Legend and Alicia Keys one, I would probably watch front to back, the whole thing. Another thing that's helping with quarantine is because people aren't allowed to go out, like movies aren't getting made, shows aren't getting made. A lot of people from shows that have either been canceled or have been put on hold have been coming together and doing like reunion shows. Like Parks and Rec did a whole live show just off Skype, basically, and it was cut together by all the producers because everybody had time on their hands. They did a really good job of it. The Office, they came together, they had a full-on Zoom meeting, and they got to share that with us. Community had a full-on Zoom meeting, and I thought it was cool because you're like, they're not all going to be there. And Donald Glover's there, and at one point, he said, yo, we should get a group chat, and everybody else started laughing. He's like, well, what's so funny? Like, we have a group chat. He goes, why wasn't I invited to the group chat? They're like, well, because you're Childish Gambino. We thought you were too busy. He's like, I was like, yeah, that's what the world thinks because nigga, you were everywhere. Like you ain't got time for a group chat. He's like, no, I totally want to be in a group chat with y'all. That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, but that's like never not inviting someone to the party because they always say no. But then the one time, like, why wasn't I invited?
Because
he may have been too busy, but
right.
These are his comrades, his coworkers, his friends. Like he at least give him the ability to think about it.
Right, just throw him in there. Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. They were all kind of fucking with him. But the thing I like about this the most is this is happening without the networks. Because if The Office wanted to do a reunion on NBC, the thing that it would be almost impossible to fucking do. Because they're like, we got to pay this person, and then the studio wants this much, the network wants to make sure we got to talk to our sponsors. They're just making it happen. That's the best part about it is they don't have to worry about the networks. They're just, fuck it, let's just come together, and it's free. We will just put it on fucking Facebook. We'll throw it on YouTube. You can see this reunion happen, which I feel is more, as a fan, is more impressive to me. I think that's dope. Fresh Prince did it. Will Smith did it with the cast of the Fresh Prince.
Did he?
Yep. Huh. The cast of Fresh Prince had a full-on Zoom meeting, and he just threw it out on YouTube. I was like, see that? I like that. That's dope. Yeah. We should take a break. We've been going at it for a minute. We are going to take a break, get some of these bills paid through Anchor until we get more sponsors, trying to get some sponsors. I'm trying to get sponsored by Bang Energy Drink, man. That's like,
Bang.
It right now. Bang, dude. I drink a Bang. I write 2 songs. I do 137 fucking sit-ups.
Oh my gosh.
We'll come back. Keep your ears open.
Change it up.
Right? Confuse the people. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
We are definitely recording again, so they're going to catch that unless you cut it.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We were trying to figure out Zoom. Shit is weird, man, but I like it. So I don't know if you can see. Yes.
We're old in technology. It hasn't caught up to us.
I don't know if you can see, but I have a signed Mike Tyson glove right here. And one of the big things that's happening on the internet right now is the return of said Mike Tyson.
Isn't Mike Tyson just some like fat weed grower?
Isn't he a big fat pot smoking dude with a cartoon on Adult Swim, which is really funny? No, tell me you've seen these videos of Mike Tyson training.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what the hell is he doing? Don't get me wrong. The man can be in whatever shape he wants to be, but why does he look like he's going to fight?
Because he's going to fight.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yep.
The man is 50 plus years old. Don't
53.
Get back in the ring.
53 years old. Oh, you haven't heard the best part. The other guy who's training to fight him. Evander Holyfield.
I don't want to see that. You know why? Holyfield whipped his ass.
He did. He did. But the first of all, I don't know. The idea of seeing these two old dudes fight, like Sylvester Sloan and Robert De Niro, is just like, we've already seen that movie. It's just the black version. But I also don't want to see, like, I was having this conversation with the fellas last night. We were playing poker. I'm like, first of all, the rules would have to be like the Mayweather-McGregor thing, 8 rounds, which neither of them is going to make it to.
Well, give him more credit than that.
Neither you expect to see two mid-50s dudes go 8 rounds of boxing when they haven't fought in at least 15, 20 years.
Well, if they're fighting, if they're getting in shape to fight, at least 8, yes.
I say they go 4 rounds before they get gassed and they're just hugging each other in the ring. If one of them doesn't get knocked out, and not even knocked out, knocked down, but knees don't work to get back up. Like, I want to see the deer legs shaking on the ground. Like, you know what? I would have knocked you out, but I can't get up from the. Don't be a piece of shit. Don't take this away from me, Evander. Don't take this away from me. So it's funny because speaking of the podcast king, Joe Rogan, he had Mike Tyson on the show a couple years back, and he was like, "Hey, are you gonna start getting back in shape?" And Mike was like, "No, I don't want to get back in shape because I'm worried about my ego, and the ego, my ego is just really bad. I just if I get back in shape and I start looking good, I'll think I can fight again, and my ego will take over." Fast forward a little bit. Hit that SpongeBob 2 years later.
Oh my God.
2 years later, Mike Tyson's fucking some sparring partner up, and he's like, "I'm back." And you're like, "Oh man, no, Mike." It sucks when you know your demons and you know what they're capable of, and they take over anyway. Yeah. And I feel like that's what's about to happen with Mike. His ego kicked in. He's like, "Yeah, I'm looking at everybody get the stem cell research, and I could probably get some stem cells myself. I'm probably in the best shape of my life." Don't do that, Mike. Don't do that, Mike. Gosh. You are not in the best shape of your life. 22-year-old Mike Tyson was the best shape of your life.
Yeah.
What would he say to you? He wouldn't. He would knock you out, spit on you, and keep walking. Like, act like you're fighting that dude.
Yeah, that Tyson would kill this Tyson.
That Tyson would murder this Tyson, and then go fuck 3 girls, and then go home to Robin.
Oh man.
I don't know. I wouldn't pay to see it. But if it was on, I would watch it. Put it that way. I wouldn't pay to see it. But if I just happen into a bar and it's on TV, I'm gonna have a couple of drinks and watch it. I'm not gonna lie. I want to see it. I absolutely would not pay for it because fuck, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Anyway, that's one thing. While we're in sports, let's stay in sports. So, the biggest athlete in the world, LeBron James, has a production company. The most popular athlete in the world, you don't think is LeBron James?
No.
Sir, carry on. Who's
Ronaldo and Messi?
In the world, not in the world. Continent.
In the world. In the world.
In the world.
LeBron James is not the world to South America. He is not the world to
You don't think people in South America are aware of LeBron James' existence?
They are. But as far as popular athlete, he is not touching those soccer guys. He's close. He's probably top 3 to 5.
Well, then
but he's not them.
Let's do that. That's a valid argument. The most popular athlete in America, LeBron James, since that's where the fuck we live. You gotta be going full Easter egg since that's where we live, bitch. He like the rest of us feels some type of way about what the Houston Astros did, and he doesn't like it.
What they do?
They're cheating some bitches.
What? The Astros. Okay, I'm tripping because you're talking about LeBron. I was thinking Houston Rockets.
Yeah, no. He, like the rest of us, felt some way about the Houston Astros, and like the rest of us, including you and me, he put out there, it's fucked up. They cheated. There needs to be repercussions, and so on and so forth. And nothing really. We talked about the penalties they got, which were bullshit penalties, but he decided to actually do something and get a jump on the competition. Now, I said before, for the next God knows how many years, they're going to be talking about this story, talking about these cheating ass Astros. There's going to be documentaries, there's going to be fucking movies, there's going to be stories. He's doing it first. Him and his production company, Braun Entertainment and Uninterrupted, are doing a documentary on the cheating ass Astros. Mm-hmm. And everybody loves this except the cheating ass Astros. So much so that Alex Bregman, whose agent is with Clutch Sports, who's tied in with LeBron, he fired his agent. He was like, you know what? No, I bet you're leaking secrets to LeBron. How could you do this to me? The guy's like, well, you're a cheating bastard. What the fuck was I supposed to? You think I gave LeBron your number? I was telling him, no, dude. Everybody knows you guys cheated. That's who you are now. That's how hard it is to market you, you piece of shit. It's great. LeBron's gonna be the first one to put out a documentary because that's what happens when you have the voice that LeBron has, but you also have the resources, like a fucking production company. You're like, you know what? I'll do it myself.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's so many people in the industry who wish they had that power to be like, man, I wish I could just tell this story. You know what? I will just tell this fucking story. Just how LeBron did it. I love it. I love the idea of it. I also like the concept the idea that because of COVID-19 and all sports being pushed back, some postponed, some delayed. If the world returns to some kind of normalcy by like September, September to December could be the greatest. September, October, the greatest 4 months in collective sports history. Because
it's going to be an overload.
An overload of fucking playoff, like high quality, high impact, very important sports. Yeah. Come to the bar and we're going to have the NBA playoff game here, the MLB playoff game here, the NHL playoff series here, a fucking golf tournament over here, NASCAR series. Like every TV is going to have a different game that's going to be an important game. It's going to be great for things like DraftKings and FanDuel, but it's going to be even better for people like us who are fans of multiple sports. I feel like if they can get that off, that would just be like, yo, 2020 started so bad, just so shitty, and then sports stopped, and we lost a lot of people. But remember what happened in the last quarter of 2020? Damn.
That's
There was
true.
a
That's
game
true.
on every hour, and it was a fucking important one. It was no garbage games. Every game
Tennis
meant something.
tournaments, everything.
Oh man, that's gonna be. I feel like that's gonna be so dope. I hope we end 2020 on that note. Um, I'm not gonna do that. I want to. You know what? Let's do it.
What?
So I sent you a picture the other day.
Okay.
I sent you a picture of Charlize Theron and her black babies.
Oh my gosh. I.
In the
Okay.
picture, Charlize Theron's out in Hollywood. She's got her two African boys that she adopted,
Mm-hmm.
who are now her two African girls that she adopted. Now, in this picture, she has her two, what were originally her African sons, who are now identifying as her African daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got them, one's in a tutu, one's in a dress. It's just pink and all this shit all over the place. And that's how Charlize Theron is, I don't want to say parading, but out in public with her little African girls, boy. I don't know. I don't know. And I say I don't know because I understand being progressive. And when I've read 4 articles about why she feels like her boys identify as girls now. She said the oldest one, who I think was 7 at the time, said to her one day, "I'm not a boy, I'm a girl." And she replied, "Okay, cool." Immediately took him shopping, bought a bunch of girl clothes. So then the little brother, seeing this, because that's what life is like, "I'm a girl too." And she goes, "Okay, I now have 2 girls." Here's the problem I have with this situation. I don't feel like a conversation was had. I don't feel like what made you feel that way, or why do you think that, or what did you see, or why is it you feel? I don't feel like there was enough deep of a conversation to have, as opposed to the response. Today you're a girl. You're a fucking girl. Cool. Let me go take you out in the streets like this. Let's do girl stuff then, since you're a girl. I don't know how I feel about, and it doesn't. That part doesn't matter to me that the kids are adopted and African. That's just as a parent asking another parent, well, did you ask why he felt like he was a girl? No? He just said he was a girl and you're cool with it? Okay. I don't know how I feel about your parenting style. Say something. You're a parent. You're a parent. You're a parent. Diva walks in tomorrow and she goes, "Daddy, I'm a boy. Watch how you talk to me." Do you have a conversation? You go, "Well, I have a boy now." Do you even ask her? Like, why do you think you're a boy, sweetie? Like, what made you think you were a boy? Why do you feel like you identify as a boy? You're 4-year-old, you're 2-year-old, you're 3-year-old, you're 6-year-old?
All those questions would be had. And my first one would be, are you sure?
Right.
That'd be my first question. Are you sure? Because things say otherwise. Why do you feel? And then, of course, why do you feel like this? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. But as far as dressing her, going, oh, let's go buy you some boy stuff. Granted, I already put her in Spider-Man and Marvel stuff all over the place. But
that's different.
When I saw that image and we brought it up, I didn't know what to think. From what I understand with the articles is that they said it to her. And so she's letting them experience life like that. At that young age, there's lots of kids who wonder what it's like to be an opposite sex because they don't know. Right now, my daughter says, I have a vagina. And she knows that. Okay? She knows mommy has one. Okay? She doesn't know what daddy has.
Right.
I don't know when the time comes that she's going to find out or we tell her the opposite sex has this, but she knows boys or girls. I mean, boys and girls, whatever. I don't know what to think about if she was to want to change that. I guess I would let her try it or be like the tomboy, as they say back in the day or whatever. How do you feel like you want to do this? Do you want to go out and try to experience life as a boy at that age? Or I just thought, no, you're not. You're a girl. And then as she gets older and maybe she understands more about gender and sexuality, if she wants to then still say at the age, 14 at that point, 15, 16, I am a boy. I feel like a boy. Then that's maybe a little different. You have matured a little bit, especially since she's a girl, she's a little bit older. But there's all kinds of stuff to letting kids of young ages reassign their own gender, granted not physically, but mentally, that doesn't lead to great things later.
Right.
So I can applaud her for being like, okay, let's go do what you want to do as a girl. But again, I have the same questions as you. Did you ask? Did she ask these young boys, hey, are Are you sure? Why do you feel like that? Because originally the first headline was Charlize takes her boys out as girls. Why doesn't she just adopt girls? But
Right.
apparently that wasn't the case. That's of
Right. It's
course
not like she
someone
wanted
just
girls
making
and turned boys into girls. Yeah.
exactly. That's just people talking without knowing the whole situation. I can't judge off that because at first I was like, that doesn't make me feel cool about Charlize. But if they came to her or one said, I feel like a girl, I want to be a girl, okay, fine. The younger one though, that's way off. The younger one's just following the older one.
Easily.
That's how siblings do.
Easily.
So that one you gotta be like, maybe not, but you know.
My 3-year-old son, when my son was 3, he told me he was Pac-Man. I could not tell him he was not Pac-Man.
Speaking of that, if I call my little girl, if I call her Brooklyn, sometimes she's like, no, I'm not Brooklyn. I'm Spider-Woman.
Right. Now, do you now have her go fight fucking crime? Because she is Spider-Woman.
No, but she doesn't do it.
Right. She's Spider-Woman. She should be out there fighting crime because that's what Spider-Woman does. No, I told him, like, my son says he was Pac-Man. I'm like, all right, cool, you're Pac-Man. Did I just start throwing balls at his mouth? Like, you don't eat real food. You eat little white dots. And every once in a while, a cherry will fly by. You have to grab those cherries. You better eat that banana that walks by. No. Kids want to be all kinds of shit when they're kids. But because they're kids, it's our jobs as parents, not just to guide them, but to make them want to ask questions, to make them want to be more intrigued, to open that conversation. And I don't feel like that conversation was opened in that thing. Like, your kid wants to be a cowboy, got it, but when do you stop letting your kid be a cowboy?
Yeah,
I feel it's the same way, but it's a bigger level when you're talking about gender fluidity. So your kid is associating as a different gender. How far do you go with that, or do you, before you start asking them actual questions? Plus, you're in a spotlight. You're a huge actress, and you were in Hollywood. Let me tell you something about Hollywood. Dave Chappelle went on Oprah a while ago, and he was talking about when he went to do Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence. And he said, there's a scene, I don't know if you remember Blue Streak, but there's a scene where Martin Lawrence goes to the jail to help Dave Chappelle break out.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, Dave was like, I'm in my trailer, and the producer comes in and they're like, Dave, hey, real quick, me and one of the writers, we had a great idea. What if, as a way to get you out of prison, we dress you up like a female? And Dave was like, I don't think that's funny. I'm good. They left the trailer. They come back, 2 writers, producer, and the director. And like, hey, Dave, these guys are telling me about the dressing up like a girl part. We feel like that would just steal the whole movie. If they just dress you up like a girl, and then you come up and he goes, no, I don't think that. No, I don't want to do.
I'm imagining the scene, and I wouldn't have thought that was funny.
Not at all. So then he was like, let me ask Martin, and he was like, that's when I realized Hollywood has this thing, this obsession with taking black stars, especially men who are like comedy stars, because they can get away with it more because they're like, it's funny. You can't tell Denzel Washington, put on a dress. And he goes, why? Because. But if it's a comedy, then they're like, because it'll make people laugh. He goes, and they have a huge obsession with dressing our black male stars up as women. Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Miguel, like all these people, Snipes. All these men have Snipes. Yep. All these men who've been like big in the black community, like, all right, we'll get the slight fuck you to them if we can put them in a dress and parade around them as women. It's like a slight, we can kind of degrade them. They'd be like, yes, this is your catalog. But remember when we made you dress up like a girl? That's how Hollywood acts. Now Charlize Theron, a big deal in Hollywood, is literally dressing these 2 black men up as girls in the street. So just the image of that alone is fucked up on another level that she probably doesn't even understand. Yeah. She probably doesn't understand what a big deal it is. I'm sure she's thinking progressively, my kids want to be this. I get that. But you were talking about 2 black boys that you have adopted and brought into a society that is not kind towards black boys. And you have dressed them up as women and are literally parading them around the fucking streets.
And not kind
on any level.
And not kind to gender fluid people.
At all. So I don't think she understands the how massive it is for her to be out in public, having people take pictures of her dressed up black boys, regardless of what her thinking is behind it. She doesn't understand the history behind it. She doesn't understand how the culture in general. It's not like she has these 2 white boys. She didn't have little Apple and little Nathan out there dressed up. No, you have little African boys out there and you're parading them as girls, and that's a huge deal that you now have to deal with. Now, Charlize Theron has been through a lot of shit in her life. Like, I know her mom shot her fucking dad out of self-defense in Africa, shit like that. Like, she's been through some shit. But what she's doing right now is some shit that I don't think even she is prepared for, and a backlash that I don't think she's prepared for. It's gonna get weird, but I kind of want to see where that goes.
I'm gonna keep my eye on that one. I'm gonna keep my ear and eye to that one.
Oh yeah,
I gotta see the follow up because again, I really like Charlize, and this is very different. It's very different. I don't know what to even think. And my quick judgment of the initial article definitely wasn't really spot on, but you know, it's a weird one.
It really is. What is happening? You told me there's something happening with NASA's theory of a parallel universe. Do we have a multiverse?
So that would be cool. We still don't know. We cannot confirm nor deny if there's a multiverse, right? So here's the deal. NASA found in a certain part of the world, I want to say Antarctica, don't quote me, people look it up, all right, that there are particles in that part of the world that do opposite what they're supposed to. So imagine we're going this way, right? Time moves this way. Time in that little spot that they were testing particles from is going this way.
Huh.
So they're like, So the idea, the Big Bang Theory is, and granted, I say theory, that's not actually the whole original theory. The original theory is like, okay, there's something funny here that maybe the Big Bang caused a different part that we haven't been able to test yet. We haven't found yet, and now they found it that we just don't know yet. But it grew like wildfire on the internet talking about parallel universes, right? Because things are going opposite. Right. So the idea, the thing is, they think the Big Bang created two universes, whereas time goes opposite the other way. But not opposite like in the past. It's just like someone walking by on the street. Like, got it. They're going against wind that we think they should be going this way. So we don't know how we.
It's not like the toilet flushing in Australia, how the water swirls a different way.
No, which is also a weird phenomenon. But no, it's particles themselves doing the opposite. So they think not that there's a doorway or anything, but they think there is something else that is kind of parallel to us that we're possibly not the only universe out there. Which, granted, here's what's going to happen. We're never going to know. We will never know this in our lifetime or the next one or the next one. Okay? These are secrets that are secrets of science, secrets of God, secrets of whatever you want them to be that we will probably as humans never break. And there's a reason for that. What that reason is, I don't know. And I don't care because guess what's going to happen in a billion years anyway? 13 billion years. The sun's going to explode and then we're going to explode. And all this is for nothing. There won't be podcasts. There won't be buildings. There won't be presidents. You know, it's all for nothing. So like parallel universe, bring it on.
What I heard was fly to Antarctica to go visit Doctor Strange. That's what I got.
Nice.
That's what I'm going to do.
I mean, I just want to see if there's multiple Spider-Men. That's it. And women.
Right. Oh. Right. That's all I want to know. So I saw like the whole NBA thing. NBA is one of the leagues trying to bring games back because UFC just started having fights. WWE is officially it's essential, so they have matches with no crowd.
That's all that's in Florida though. Right. Florida kept themselves open for that as long as there's no audience.
Right. But on that note, that's why the NBA is trying to go to Orlando to the Orlando campus. And even if they don't try to get into the playoffs, they want to finish the season. The thing they were trying to say is Adam Silver was trying to say, we wanted to go straight to the playoffs, but players like LeBron and Chris Paul, guys who have a big voice in the game, are saying we should finish out the season. Even if for no other reason than to get back in some kind of shape. You can't go from this much time off to playoff. Don't get hurt. You
need like a month of games.
Yeah.
Month of games, playoffs. Now I wouldn't mind it being maybe a month of games and maybe the top 6 teams of each league instead of 8.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or instead of 8 right now. So I wouldn't mind a smaller playoff picture to at least get it done because really how many 8s beat the number 1s? You know what I mean? Like it's super rare. I don't know if it's even worth it to bother, but I wouldn't mind seeing that. The thing is, though, a lot of that talk is now becoming a little bit obsolete as places are opening up. So the campus was an idea actually a few weeks ago when we were still slowly opening up, but now every single state has something open and keeps opening more and more and more. here's what I don't want people to forget, though. The virus isn't gone. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's still here. And if what we did worked to keep the deaths down to, at 100,000 now, but and the infection rates down is great and all, but that's because we didn't allow these things. We start allowing any of this back, we're gonna have spikes again, and come next fall, it's gonna be game over again. You know what I mean? No pun intended, but I think the only sport that's somewhat safe right now, because of how fast they're working on vaccines and stuff, is possibly football. Possibly football, because here's the deal: football's not till September officially, right?
Right.
So they may have something enough in place for football to happen, but also when it comes to basketball, and same thing with football. Like, there's so many players. Here's the deal: do they get the testing before everyone else because they have to play each other? I understand the campus in Orlando, but here's the deal: we all should be able to get tested, right? So there's a two-part thing to this, or two-part. I put my three fingers up, but two-part where they should get tested before they play, yes, and consistently tested, and maybe limit their movement. But how many other people don't get tested because they get tested? But here's the other part: if an owner has $1 billion to spend on testing for his players, who am I to tell this guy not to spend his money on testing?
Right.
I mean, I would it be nice that he spent that $1 billion on testing the regular population so we could have fans or people can get vaccines faster if there is one coming or whatever? That'd be great. But these guys aren't really thinking like that. So no, I'm not gonna really. He's gonna do what he has to do, or she has to.
They're thinking more of if we can get our players tested to get them to perform with no fans around. Fans can still watch from TV. Maybe I'll make that money back on TV. If everybody's watching on TV, then the networks and the sponsorships and all that shit. Cool. To them, it's an investment as opposed to just putting $1 billion out into the world to help people. When somebody is that rich, one of the things they care least about is spreading their money out to help people. It's like, cool. How can I keep the money coming in? How can I invest? I don't throw money away. I invest it. So for them, it's more of an investment. And the only reason why it would be okay, as far as like a fan like me, who I can't just go across the street and get tested. I can't get mad that LeBron James can go get tested because the league paid for it, because I'm not in that league. It's like if you're like, well, my job does testing, why should I be penalized because your job doesn't?
Yeah.
If they're in the league and the league's paying for it, let them do it. Let the league pay for it. Let them get them all tested. And if the biggest problem that they're having, though, that they might have before they even get to that, like with wrestling, Roman Reigns had leukemia. He was one of the biggest stars in WWE. He was coming up. He was like, I'm not wrestling. I don't care if there's no fucking fans there. I am at risk. I'm sure there's tons of basketball players who feel the exact same way. Like, oh yeah, y'all can have that. I'm not fucking going until I know for sure that I'm not going to get sick just from playing basketball with fucking Rudy Gobert, you French bastard.
He was straight wrong for his shit too, though.
He's a piece of shit. Oh, it was so good. But they haven't gotten to the conversation yet, because one of the biggest problems they've had is kind of been behind closed doors. It's not really out because there's no ESPN doesn't have shit to cover but old ass games.
Hot in here.
One of the biggest problems they had is they haven't even come to agreements with how people are getting paid once they start playing again. So the players union and the league haven't even had that conversation yet. Mm-hmm. So they were hoping like having a timetable and a location would help in negotiations, because there are tons of players who are like, all right, I didn't get paid. I didn't play this game. Like, we're not going to pay you if you're not playing. You got to go through that whole shit to even talk about a fucking basketball.
Oh, yeah.
So that's not going to happen. If it does happen, it won't happen for a while. But it's just going to be great to see sports again, just in general. The biggest question I had is, I don't understand. Like, I know I heard they're reopening Disney World and shit like that, and they're doing the mask. How can you have a massive event like a sports event and expect all these people to wear masks during this event? You're expecting 15,000 people with masks on, screaming, drinking, eating, high-fiving, fucking making out for the mask kiss cam, whatever the fuck. How is that, right? How the fuck is that not spreading the virus that still exists? I don't get it.
It is. That's the thing, though. It is going to spread the virus, which is why we can't do it. It is. It simply is. It's not gone. And if you look at South America right now, they're going through it. Brazil is getting it without Vaseline right now. You know what I mean? Like they're going through it. Their fall's coming. Their winter's going to be here, and we're really going to see what goes down. You know what I mean? It's happening.
So while we're on the topic of the virus, you mentioned to me, and somebody else sent it to me on the Bar Bros page. Shout out to the Bar Bros. The COVID-19 surcharges that some businesses and restaurants are adding to their bills.
Yep.
Which I watched the interview about it. I was reading articles about it because I'm in the service industry and I'm not even back to work yet. I work at one bar that because we don't serve food, we technically have no reason to be open. They're only letting businesses that serve food partially open with a bunch of, regulations and shit. So my thing was, I saw like in Boston, they're putting like a lot of restaurants are putting a surcharge. A lot of salons are putting a surcharge saying, as because of the COVID-19 virus, it's an extra $4 to get your hair cut, or it's an extra $5 added to your meal. And I had so many questions about that because I understand the small business mentality of we have taken a huge hit. We are struggling to stay open. We need help. But not only are there loans out there that are available for you, not only do you need people to come to you, because if you were that small struggling business that can't compete with like McDonald's or whatever, the last thing you want to do is charge people more for choosing to come to your fucking spot. The only thing that I saw that made sense on this was there's a guy who owns these 5 restaurants in Boston. He said, we are not mandating anything. We are suggesting, we are asking if you would like to donate a little extra to help keep your favorite restaurants open. We appreciate that. That I like. I always love giving people the option. I absolutely hate when you mandate people to do stuff. When you come at them like Tony Stark, you're like, you're going to fucking sign it because we have an obligation. I don't like it. So I saw it and I was like, I feel like out of all the options we have, if I go on Uber Eats right now and I'm looking at 5 different Chinese restaurants and one's like, this one has a COVID-19 surcharge, guess what? I'm not fucking eating there. And not because I don't appreciate your small business and I want you to stay open, but because I have more options that I don't have to pay extra money. I too am not working. Why do I have to pay more for your fucking business to stay open? I am paying you by giving you my business. Yes. But I have to pay more because you're struggling? That makes no fucking sense to me.
Check this out. So the surcharge is exactly what you're saying. It's to help them recover from their losses, right? The loans that we're talking about are not easy to get if they don't already have connections to the bank. So I get that. I totally get that. Problem is, there's already been a charge in the restaurant industry that's been coming up for the last couple of years, which when I first heard about it, I was like, hell no. And then I got hit with it during this whole thing because we got a nice little deal at a restaurant. I'm not going to call it out. You know what? I am going to call it out. El Torito.
Oh, in your fucking... I'm sorry, go ahead.
We had a nice little deal. We had a coupon. And don't get me wrong, still a great deal. And it was a buy one, get one free meal, period. Great. So we went and got El Torito, 2 meals for one price. When I looked at the bill, I was like, okay, gave a tip and all that. And I saw restaurant surcharge. And I know it wasn't a COVID surcharge because El Torito's already been doing the surcharge. The surcharge that these restaurants are doing started, if I'm correct, in Vegas and big places like that. And it's kind of like a maintenance fee. And you can say, I'm not going to pay that. You need to take that off the bill. And they say, oh, it's easy. You'll see it right there on the bill. You can just tell them to take it off. How many times do you really read the bill for something as small as like 1 meal at El Torito? You look at the bill, like, I'm just going to sign it. Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. Taxes, that amount of money. And then you look at it like, oh, damn. And I didn't know this. I bought the food. We left. We ate it. I looked at the receipt later. Like, oh, there's a charge on here. There's a restaurant surcharge. And this the same one I read about. Like, I didn't see that on there. And it's a percentage of the bill. So it's like 5% of the bill, which is ridiculous. My thing is, why are you charging that? What does that mean? I don't get why you think that extra charge is okay when I'm already paying for your food and tipping. Because according to them, according to these restaurants, that charge doesn't go to the staff. It goes to the restaurant, bottom line. So I was like,
well, then why not just take your fucking $6 margarita and make it a $7 margarita? Why do you have to put a surcharge instead of just raising your fucking prices on your trash food?
Because that's the thing. It's a percentage. It's a percentage on the bill. So they can get away with a small amount to a big amount. If you put it just on that margarita, they have to order a bunch of those margaritas. If it's on each and every bill, that means they're ripping off everybody.
You were talking about automatic gratuity for the restaurant. And they're not even, most of these restaurants aren't even giving, because remember that bill that passed, most of these restaurants aren't even letting you auto-grat for the server or the bartender doing the work. It used to be you had a party 8 or more, whatever, auto gratuities on there, everybody was used to it. Then businesses had to start paying for it. So they took that off, saying you don't have to tip the server, the bartender who did all that work if you don't want to, but you will tip the restaurant. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Fuck El Cerrito.
Yeah. So, and they're not the only one, but they're the one that caught me off guard.
Wow, it's believable. I mean, so they can't be one of the ones who are going to be like, we also are going to have this COVID-19 surge.
I hope not.
No, what the fuck? Dude,
Yeah.
I just paid fucking $20 for a cup of chicken tortilla soup. What the fuck is happening?
Oh, man.
It's so stupid. I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
I won't frequent a restaurant that does that. And I'm gonna pay attention now because again, we don't go out that much anyway. And we did this one time during the shutdown because it was a great deal. Now I'm gonna catch him. Like, no, you're not gonna charge me a surcharge because why do I want to pay you more when I can go right down there, like you said, and buy the same thing?
Right? I'm not gonna come to this crappy ass building when I can go to Pepe's down the street and get a better fucking carne asada plate. Right? Fuck yeah. So we got to wrap it up soon, but we have you showed me, it's going to be new to me. I didn't even do a little bit of research on it because I wanted it to be, I like to be surprised. I like to get surprised. So we're going to get into our what the shit moment.
Here we go.
At this point.
So I got to say, I love the southern states. You know why? Because there's always amazing news coming from them.
Always
interesting.
They used to take like a line through half the country and be like, everything down here, always entertaining.
Yes, exactly. So, guess what they did with their COVID-19 numbers in order to open on time? Because remember, they're one of the states that were pushing, reopen, right? Our numbers aren't that bad.
Georgia, right? Yeah.
Georgia. And remember, I think it was Alabama we talked about, in the last one, which was a month ago, trying to reopen nail salons and stuff, trying to kill people of color and all that. Georgia's trying to do the same thing. With the numbers graph that they put out, this is already a couple weeks old, and they've apologized for it recently, which you shouldn't have even done it. They made a graph that showed, if you look at the graph straight on, it looked amazing. Numbers are way up here. They're steady going down, right? If you read the bottom of the graph, the little bars that show the graph of numbers going up and down weren't the same each week, right?
Huh.
They moved around. So they could look like they were going down. So say it's like Atlanta, spikes here, right? And then the next week it's Savannah, spikes here. They would put it over here so that Savannah's higher than Atlanta here. But not only that, but and then the next week if it reversed, they reversed the bars. But not only that, they put dates mixed up. They had, and I can't even make this up. This is so good. Here's the month going, the weeks going by. We're talking, say, April 1st, April 7th, April 14th, whatever. And then they had, and then you have the in-between days, April 3rd, 4th, 5th. They had like April 1st, and then next to it was like May 2nd. And then next to it was like April 4th. And then next to it, yeah. So because every time they did that, the numbers looked like they were going down.
Wow.
And so someone called them out on their bullshit, like, yo, what is this? Like, how are you going to straight line? Not only do you have your dates mixed up, but your bars aren't even straight. And I remember when I first looked at it, I was like, oh, that's actually okay. So they were doing all right. And I looked at the bottom, I was like, I even told Beltran, I was like, love, I don't know what's up with the bottom right there, but why is April 29th on this side and May 7th is over here?
Wow.
Yo, they straight lied on a graph to make themselves open up sooner. And thing is, they still opened up sooner based off whack information. But check this out. All these states that fought so hard to open up soon and quickly, and granted, we fought here in California, not you and I. They fought here in California to do it. They're having problems now. They're surging. Alabama right now is about to run out of ICU beds. Guess what Alabama did at the end of April? Wow. They let the stay-at-home order lift. They let it go away. So they let it they let the state kind of reopen itself without much guidance after April 30th. They let it expire, and now look at them. They're about to run out of ICU beds, and it's like, oh, really? Did you not expect that would happen? You just lied to people. You just said that this was okay when you know it wasn't, because the reason it looked okay is because people were staying at home. You lifted it at least 2 weeks before everyone else, because the thing is, they're having problems now. They lifted the order 3 weeks ago. How long does it take for it to incubate and then make you sick? And how long after? Week to incubate, 2 weeks of sickness. That's about the amount it takes for everything to happen. A few days to incubate, 2 weeks of sickness. It's about a 3 week, 4 week process for most people from the time of infection to the time to stop having like the massive symptoms. It's like 3 to 4 weeks. And you look at Alabama right now, they are suffering because 3 weeks ago, they let the state reopen itself.
I feel like, and I'm going to blame a lot of politicians for this, because the politician mentality is you want people to like you, you want them to vote for you, because that's how you make your money.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's gotten to that point where we're like, well, people are getting antsy and businesses are losing money and they're not going to vote for you. So you better do something. Okay, let them do whatever they want. Yeah. But they're getting sick. Let them do whatever they want. I'd rather them like me than not like me. So let them do whatever they want. And then people start dying. That's terrible leadership. Yeah. It's awful leadership. But that's to me is a person thing.
Wow, yeah. Good job, Georgia. Good job, Georgia and Alabama.
On that bullshit too. Y'all on that bullshit. Wow. So we have to wrap it up. But by the time this episode comes out, we got to say thank you to the fans, because by the time this comes out, we will be at 2,500 downloads. We will have had 2,500 downloads of the Old School Perspective podcast. We are humbled. We are grateful. We are appreciative. And we are, as we promised, giving this away. We are giving away the Tupacalypse Now vinyl, sealed, never opened. Tupac Shakur, one of the greatest just people, not even just rappers of all time. The guy was just a genius. We're going to give this away on our Instagram page. Keep up to date on our Instagram. It's at Old School Perspective, obviously. We'll let you know we're giving away to the people who participated and put the word out there about us, who've been holding us down during quarantine and have been fans for the whole time. Thanks for holding us down. I mean, we appreciate that. I mean, yo, yada, yada. Woo, woo. Woo-de-woo. We appreciate y'all. We love you all. We're going to get up out of here. Until next time, I'm Shaun Q. Be smart.
Jay Roman, we out.
Peace. Keep it old school.